Have you ever looked at your life and thought, this isn't fair? Maybe you've worked hard, stayed faithful, tried to do the right thing, and yet things keep going wrong. You see other people moving ahead while you're stuck. You pray, but nothing changes. You give your best, but it feels like nobody notices. If that's where you are right now, then Joseph's story is for you. Because few people in the Bible understood unfairness like Joseph did, and yet God used every unfair moment to prepare him for something greater. Let's talk about it. Joseph was 17 years old when God gave him a dream that one day he would rise to a position of influence and leadership. But instead of getting closer to that dream, everything started falling apart. His own brothers became jealous of him. The people who should have protected him were the very people who betrayed him. They threw him into a pit, then sold him as a slave. Imagine that for a moment. One day you're living with your family, the next day you're being sold like property. Joseph had done nothing wrong. He wasn't being punished for a mistake. He was simply experiencing something many of us experience today. Being hurt by people you trusted. And maybe you know that feeling. Maybe someone you loved betrayed you. Maybe a friend walked away. Maybe someone lied about you. Maybe you gave your best to a relationship, a job, or a dream, and it all fell apart. When that happens, it's easy to become bitter. It's easy to ask, God, why are you allowing this? But Joseph teaches us an important lesson. Just because life feels unfair doesn't mean God has abandoned you. In fact, sometimes God is working most powerfully when you can see him the least. After becoming a slave, Joseph eventually found favor in his master's house. Things finally seemed to be improving. But then another unfair thing happened. He was falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit. And because of that lie, he was thrown into prison. Think about that. Joseph resisted temptation. He did the right thing. He honored God. And he ended up in prison. That doesn't seem fair at all. Sometimes we secretly believe that if we obey God, life should become easier. But Joseph's story reminds us that obedience doesn't always lead to immediate rewards. Sometimes doing the right thing costs you something. Sometimes integrity is expensive. Sometimes faithfulness feels lonely. But never confuse a difficult season with a wasted season. The prison wasn't where Joseph's story ended. It was where God was preparing him. And maybe that's exactly what God is doing in your life right now. Maybe you're in a season that feels like a prison, a season where you feel stuck, a season where your prayers seem unanswered, a season where you don't understand why things are happening the way they are. But what if this season is preparation, not punishment? What if God is building strength in you that success could never build? What if he's developing patience, wisdom, humility, and character for the future he has planned? The truth is that growth often happens in hidden places. Nobody sees a seed growing underground. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Years later, Joseph was finally brought before Pharaoh. And in a single day, everything changed. The prisoner became a ruler. The forgotten man became one of the most powerful people in Egypt. The dream that seemed impossible finally came true. But here's the important part. Joseph wasn't ready for that position when he was 17. God had to prepare him first. The pit prepared him. The slavery prepared him. The prison prepared him. The very things Joseph hated were the things God used. And the same can be true for you. The disappointment, the rejection, the delay, the closed doors, the struggles you're facing today may be preparing you for something you cannot see yet. One of the most powerful verses in Joseph's story comes when he speaks to the brothers who betrayed him. He says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Think about that. Joseph didn't say the pain was good. He didn't pretend the betrayal never happened. He simply recognized that God was greater than the pain, that God could take something meant to destroy him and use it for a greater purpose. And that's the message you need to remember today. People may disappoint you. Life may feel unfair. Doors may close. Plans may fail. But God is still writing your story. Your current chapter is not your final chapter. So don't quit. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't give up because things aren't happening on your timeline. Keep trusting. Keep growing. Keep praying. Keep showing up. Because just like Joseph, one day you may look back and realize that the season you wanted to escape was actually the season God used to prepare you. And when that day comes, you'll understand something Joseph learned long ago. God never wastes pain, and he never abandons his people.